Hello. Well, you know you have a crazy, awesome night when this is going up for DREGS. This, my friends, is what we call a unicorn wine. So a wine that is rarely seen, really hard to find, and when you do spot it, grab it. Really awesome Monday night. We've had such a killer week in the wine world here at Press. We've sold some amazing bottles. This one is no exception. We had an awesome night. Opened some Screaming Eagle, opened some Dominus, opened some Feudo. What else was open back here? Old Mayacamas, a lot of really cool stuff. This one had to take the cake though, because this is truly a wine that we don't get to taste very often anymore because it's really hard to find. In fact, this is probably the most rare bottle in that it was ever made in Napa Valley. It's the hardest to find. I just scored 2 bottles of this. One already went out. I would even hesitate to tell you the price because it's just so obscenely expensive to find it. But if you can find it, you'll generally find it on the market for about anywhere between $1,500 and $2,000 a bottle. It is incredibly expensive. So let's talk about the wine. So, because I'm sure you're wondering why this wine is so hard to find and so expensive. So this is Heitz Cellars. The producer is Heitz Cellars, founded by Joe Heitz back in the 60s. This particular wine is the Martha's Vineyard cuvee. So Martha's Vineyard is a vineyard in Oakville. It's really close to Harlan Estate over in the eastern foothills of Oakville. A really unique wine aromatically, so you can always tell a Martha's Vineyard wine because it is incredibly laden with eucalyptus. And I'm gonna pour this in the glass. I'm gonna pour the dregs out now so I can let them sit a little bit so they can all rush to the bottom. But what you usually look for in this wine is eucalyptus. 74 in Napa Valley, a super warm, beautiful, perfect vintage. This wine, why is it so hard to find? Well, they consider it the best they've ever made. Obviously, if you've ever seen a Heitz wine before, this is a very different label. In fact, this is the only year that they use this label. It's one of the only bottles from Napa Valley from this era that you'll actually find fraudulent versions of. So it's something we are really careful about sourcing because you will find some fake Heitz Marthas out there. I've seen them. They're not pretty. But anyway, this wine is beautiful, and when you do find it and you have the chance to drink it, take advantage. So let's get into the wine. There it is, right on the nose. God, these 70s wines are so incredible. This is what drew me to Napa Valley, to these wines, to these old classic producers like Heitz. And Heitz, again, like some of the other producers I've talked about, like Mayacamas, Philippe Tony, Dominus, Dunn, those are all producers that stylistically haven't really shifted and molded to what we know of today as the Napa Valley style, meaning a little bit more extraction, a little bit more ripeness, higher alcohols. They've all sort of stayed in that sort of classic style that is Napa Valley. So lower alcohols, a little less ripe, a little more gentle extraction, so you don't get so much of that richness, so much of that ripeness, sweetness on the palate. Unbelievable nose. Immediately, you stick your nose in the glass and you're like, that is 100% Heitz Martha's Vineyard. Tons and tons of eucalyptus. If you've ever gone driving anywhere around Northern California, you've driven up the coast and you've gone through the redwoods, it smells like redwood, like eucalyptus, like fresh rain, and that minty greenness. And that's exactly what you get on the nose. Tons of fruit left in here. An absolutely gorgeous aromatic wine. The dregs are a little on the chunkier, finer side of things. You can kind of see just how much we're getting on those like sandy tannas in the glass, but let's get into the wine. Ridiculous. So ridiculous. So much fruit. If you blind tasted this wine, I guarantee you, God, it's still going. I guarantee you, you wouldn't even be in the vicinity of 74. This wine is so fresh and so lively and so perfect. Oh my gosh, the acidity on this wine, the structure of this wine, the balance of this wine, it just you keep tasting it. Even as I'm talking about it now, the finish just goes forever. This is an unbelievable bottle of wine. I'm so happy with the quality of this. I've had some pretty lackluster versions of this bottle before, and they've been okay. They've been a lot of times gone side by side with like a 74 Mayacamas or even a 69 Heitz Martha's, which is a gorgeous bottle of wine, and it overtook this 74. This 74 is one of the greatest 74 Heitz Martha's I've ever tried. Gorgeous. It is so pretty. It is so lovely. It is so intense and focused and structured. It doesn't taste like Bordeaux, although I think a lot of people would stick their nose in the glass and they would taste the wine and they would go to Bordeaux. This is uniquely California. There's so much eucalyptus, there's so much fruit, there's so much ripeness, so much florality. The only thing about this that would make it Bordeaux-like is the fact that it is so restrained that it almost feels like it's Bordeaux and not Napa as we know it today. The acidity on this wine, the freshness of this wine, the vibrance and the youth of this wine, it just makes me crazy how good this is. Truly a remarkable wine, and one that I am very excited to be sharing with you guys, that I now have a diary of what this tastes like. It has such great density. I can't believe how much structure is left in this wine. It feels like a young, beautiful Cabernet. It just is absolutely incredible. So I'm gonna leave you with that, because what more can there possibly be to say other than it was a great wine, and I'm really excited that we got to pull a cork on it tonight, because it doesn't happen very often. So thank you so much, Heitz Martha's. Awesome wine. Shout out to my newest, likely youngest subscriber out there, Poppy Sam, who came and hung out with us tonight and left me a really cool present, a piece of art that's now living in my cellar, and you can see it on Instagram. Follow me at Samvivant there and you can check it out, and I'll see you all very soon.